in total, they have taken down like 16 videos, two YouTube channels, two Reddit accounts, one Twitter handle. Quora was temporarily suspended. My three very important articles from LinkedIn were, vanished. Yeah, sometimes they said like he is making 1.2 crore rupees. In the other ad, they said like, okay, we have a better idea. How about make it $1.2 million? Pandemic is not the worst thing that happened in 2020. At least we have got WhiteHat Jr. Hats off to Karan Bajaj.
Hey guys, welcome to Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb, your host, and today the guest that we have on the show is Pradeep Poonia. He's a software developer, and he's also someone who has spoken out actively against a startup called WhiteHat Jr. This is an edtech startup that's parent company is the most valuable edtech startup in the world, Byju. So Pradeep, I just wanted to know to start things off, why do you think WhiteHat Jr. is approaching this situation the way that they are? They're suing you for 20 crore rupees. That's 2.7 million US dollars. Why are they deciding to do that instead of just ignoring you like most companies would? When people criticize companies, typically they don't take such extreme measures.
So the story I was posting about this company for like last 3 months, and my questions were very basic questions like who is Wolf Gupta and why are you using such kind of advertisements, false advertisements, and your reviews on Google Play Store are fake, and all such like very, very valid questions. And they tried their best and to shut me down. They tried removing all my videos, all my platforms, but at this point they knew that I know a lot, and this is the drastic step they had to take. Their aim was to get a permanent restriction over me to speak against them, but they couldn't get it. So yeah, that's why I think that they ran to the courts.
Yeah, and you had said there that they've sort of removed you from social media platforms. So what exactly? I know you're banned basically from LinkedIn, or they've deleted your account, and then also.
Yeah, for the LinkedIn, it says like I'm temporarily restricted. Uh, from other platforms, like in total, they have taken down like 16 videos, two YouTube channels, two Reddit accounts, one Twitter handle. Quora was temporarily suspended. My three very important articles from LinkedIn were, vanished, and something else also happened. Like I don't even remember now, like what all happened. Like many posts from Reddit were also gone. So yeah, they are very aggressive about it, and I think it's very stupid that what they are doing. Like you said, they could have gone the other way. They could have accepted their mistakes, and they could have said like, okay, we'll look into our product, but they didn't. So like it's so strange that till now not once they talked to me and said like, okay, this is the problem and let's solve it. Not a single time. Yeah, so their only standard procedure is to shut down all the dissent and keep on doing what they're doing.
Sure. And I think a lot of people look at someone like you and they maybe think that, you're just criticizing or you're just poking holes, but like, what would your response have been to WhiteHat Jr. if they had actually reached out to you and said, listen, we understand that these are problems that, with our product or our service or our company, our culture, whatever it is, and we want to actually consult you and ask you, what do you think we can do better? What would your response to that have been?
Yeah, I would have said like improve your product and sort out your marketing strategies, your sales pitch, which is very aggressive. But they didn't do it because I think the whole product and the whole company relies on such gimmicks only. Like the product, what they are selling is out there for free already. So to sell something which is already for free, I think this is the only strategy you can do.
Yeah. And what do you mean by that it's available for free? You're saying basically that what they're providing to their customers isn't actually valuable?
No, the coding is valuable. I'm not saying you shouldn't be coding, but the whole coding community is built upon like open source and from the community kind of thing. Like you provide others help and they will help you out. The Stack Overflow, everything like works on this way only. What they are using is code.org. It's a platform. It was built around like 7 years ago. It's a non-profit thing, and they're using that thing. They're using code.org, P5JS. Hunkable, and Scratch. So all these things are available for free. Like in code also, they kind of accepted that they are using the material from code.org, because I had given one of my channels, my first channels, to a kid, 7-year-old kid. So he was teaching from code.org. Okay, not WhiteHat Jr. Curriculum. So in the code, they were saying like, I'm using one kid to, provide their material, WhiteHat Jr.'s material for free, which I'm not. So in a way, they accepted that their material is from code.org, and they are scared of a 7-year-old kid.
So I wanted to ask you specifically about some of the things that you've spoken out about. I know you mentioned earlier in the interview Wolf Gupta, you've mentioned fake Play Store reviews. So tell me a little bit about those. What is WhiteHat Jr. actually doing that you're upset about?
So I'll tell you about, like, I saw the ads back in March and April also this year. So I just ignored them. Like, there are so many scams out there in India, and especially in ethics. So I just thought it is one another scam. So, but when the company was bought by Byju for $300 million, so I have background from software and in ethic also. So I knew that this company can't be that, that worthy of $300 million. So I started just looking into the product, and I found out that the Google Play Store reviews, all of them were fake. I'm not just saying a couple of them were fake. What I did was I went to the 5-star reviews from my laptop, and I copied them in Control F. I just was finding the duplicates one. For it's there's a half an hour long video on my YouTube channel which they removed like 3-4 times, and I started from the top and I just kept going down and down. I copied and found out all the reviews, not like some of them, all of them had duplicates in there. And for half an hour long, like, I kept on going on and on and on. Like, I couldn't find a single review which didn't have a copy of it. So this is what made me upset, that how can you have a product and you have all your reviews are fake, and then you are claiming that you are $300 million worth, and then you are pushing parents to buy a product which is already out there for free. And like, my first video was like, who is Wolf Gupta? And in the court case, they accepted that the kid is imaginary. They could have accepted it back then also, but they didn't. Now they're apologizing about their marketing gimmicks and all that, but this is not an apology. This is the point when they don't have anything else to say. In court they couldn't have lied, so they accepted it, but they didn't do it earlier. So yeah, that made me really upset. And the point that they are lying to kids, if they were lying to you or me, it would have been like, okay, companies do that. But if you're lying to a 6-year-old kid, it doesn't mean that you are, smart people, and the business is really good. No, kid would accept anything you tell them. 6-year-old kids just came to this earth just 6 years back. So like, lying to kids doesn't make sense to me. It's really wrong.
Yeah, I was actually watching some of your videos because I know that those ads, the Wolf Gupta ads, and also there's another kid that you've heard of, I'm sure. Actually, I think you've covered him as well. This imaginary kid, Ryan Venkat, I think is what his. Yeah, and it's amazing, actually. It's just shocking that they had the audacity to post these ads where not the name, but the age and the salary that they're saying he's making. What is like some multi-million-dollar salary for this kid who's like in his teens, and he's working for Google. It's crazy.
Yeah, so sometimes they said like he's making 1.2 crore rupees. In the other ad, they say like, okay, we have a better idea. How about make it $1.2 million? In the other ad, they say like, okay, let's make it 20 crore. And finally, they were saying 150 crore. So this is just absurd. And what made me really anxious about this company was that they are setting a really dangerous precedence to other companies to start following this suit, where you can say anything to the customers, to the kids, and to sell your product. Just last night, I found out there's a company called Chota Einstein. Chota means small, small Einstein. And what this company is, they are targeting 2-year-old kids, babies. Seriously, they are saying like, Einstein, like, I don't know what they are trying to achieve over there, but they are trying to fool parents. They're targeting 2-year-old kids, which is so wrong.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I think that, of course, children are gullible. They believe things that, just because they see it on the internet, all of a sudden they they're believing it. But also parents, I think, often, even fully grown adults are not very good at researching and finding out what is real and what is not real, right? And we're all quite vulnerable to this fake information, right? But if you're not putting a little disclaimer at the bottom saying, and by the way, Wolf Gupta is not a real character, he's not a real person. They're saying it as though it's a real person.
They never put any disclaimer whatsoever. Never did that. And I have this little theory that what should be the most essential skill set which people should have in this era of information. Like let's say 10,000, 20,000 years ago, the most essential skill set would be how to create fire with stones or with wood, and then it might would have been like how to hunt, and then how to do farming. Right now, in my opinion, one of the most essential skill set should be how to Google search. How to find out good information for you, and not so that people don't depend themselves on gamified algorithms, developed by some other company. You like deep fake is increasing, and with that, fake news in future there would be a lot of fake news. So how to save ourselves from that, how to find out better news sources, how to find out how to do your own research. So people need to learn how to Google search. And what these companies are doing is that they won't teach kids this important skill set. They would teach anything but not how to Google search, because they know once a kid knows how to Google search, they are not going to pay them for anything, because everything is out there in internet for free. Like internet is a really amazing place, but it's also a bad place, and it's up to you how you utilize that for yourself.
Sure. So what you're saying is basically you're not saying that it's wrong for kids to learn how to code. That's not your argument here. Your argument is that it's wrong to be charging people for something that is already freely available on the internet, and besides that, also misleading them, thinking that this is actually going to result in, for example, you becoming some big CEO or your app being bought up by these investors like hotcakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is also going to impact those people, those teachers who want to teach stuff for very minimal price. Independent teachers on YouTube and other places, their products are never going to get any kind of traction on online, because these companies would keep on pushing their advertisements over top of them. So I always think like we should support independent teachers, people who do this thing for the love of education, not just to make money. And I'm not saying that teachers shouldn't be making money, but in my honest opinion, that's like my personal opinion, teachers shouldn't be millionaires or billionaires. Teachers should have like a good salary, but they shouldn't be billionaires.
Sure. And that's actually that brings me to another point here, which this is like at this point, it's a pretty big company. This is WhiteHat Jr. by its parent company, which is Byju's. Do you feel like the cards are kind of stacked against people like you who are speaking out against this company? Because it seems like they have serious resources to go after people like you on social media and remove anything which is controversial or something that's critical of them.
So when I started looking more into this issue, and I found out that Byju's has been doing this for years. And my initial videos were taken down by Byju's ORM team, ORM like online reputation, and then it moved to WhiteHat Jr. ORM team. So what WhiteHat Jr. ORM team is doing, Byju's was doing this for years already. So I'll just give you an example of it. Like on Quora, these companies literally like they rule Quora. Like all the reviews are fake over there. I had a link, I found like link which showed like how they manipulate Quora answers. I'll just tell you, if you put something against them, most probably they'll get your account suspended for some weeks. Okay, and if you keep on posting a lot, your account might be deleted permanently. But let's say if there's a question which says like, why don't you like Byju's? So obviously, because the question has negative connotation, many of the answers would be against Byju's. And let's say there are 20 answers. What are you going to do? How can you take down 20 profiles? So what Byju's used to do was they used to change the question. And the question used to be changed into which is the best coffee shop in New York. So the people who in New York won't know about Byju's, and the Byju's people don't care about the coffee shops in New York. And I do have proofs against this also. Yeah.
How did they do that?
I don't know. They had like mod responsibilities or whatever, but I had a proper link. Click on the link. This is just one example that I'm giving to you. There were like many examples. I do have the screenshot, but when I made this link public on my LinkedIn profile, that this is what Byju's is doing in my first post, which said like Byju's invited Junior to stop acting like mafias. That link was in there, but after they came to know that I do have the link, they removed all the content of the link from the back end of Quora, but I still do have the snapshots. I can show that to you, like how they change the questions itself, not just one, like many questions.
Wow, this is kind of shocking. And the fact, I mean, you're describing how they've sort of, I guess you could say, censored you on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, all of these places. But I didn't realize that it seems like they actually have some sort of back-end access, right? They're actually able to go in and modify things in a way that they probably shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, like you can imagine, like they were taking down my videos, like, and they were not just taking down my videos, they were taking down videos of everybody, not just people who were critical about them, even people who made fun about the ads, even silly jokes, even tweets which had Wolf in them, and they weren't even talking about Byju or WhiteHat Jr. I have seen that happening. There was a tweet, a person was tweeting about Wolf, and they were taking down their tweets as well. And that person is not from India. He was not talking about WhiteHat Jr. at all. And they just found that there's a wolf, kill it.
It wasn't about he wasn't saying Wolf
Not at all, not at all. It just came in front of them. They just saw the wolf and they got panicked. They like, remove this as well.
Wow. Seems like I just want to read you a quote here from Karan Bajaj, who's the founder and CEO of WhiteHat Jr. I think the popular narrative that was constructed a little bit in social media over the last couple of months was that WhiteHat Jr. was against dissent or criticism, which is actually not the truth at all. What do you think about that quote?
Yeah. So last night I started, looking up for this guy what's his background, and I found from Z News from 10 years back, from 2010. So he was an author back then, and there was a question from the journalist that people are comparing you to Rakhi Sawant. They are calling you Rakhi Sawant of literature. What do you think about it? And in that answer also, he said like, I always welcome criticism. So like this guy is, he appreciates criticism since last 10 years, and still, what happens from the back end, it's quite visible right now.
So another question that I wanted to ask you, Pradeep, is what would you say to parents of kids who are thinking right now, because the pandemic is happening and still some schools are shut and kids maybe can't go back to school, or maybe they need to actually have some extracurricular learning at home, through a platform like WhiteHat Jr. What advice would you give to them regarding WhiteHat Jr.?
So I would say that if your kids are interested in something, that would give much better results in comparison to what you want them to become. Don't push your kids into something. Sooner or later, they are going to burst. They'll get emotional about it, and it won't result in anything good. So just don't push your kids, and just let them be what they want to become, and let them try out something. If they want to do coding, let them do it. If they don't, if they just want to dance or sing, just let them do that. So if you're going to push your kids, sooner or later they're going to say like, this is not for me. So don't do that. Also, all these products teach your kids how to find free material on YouTube as well. There are so many YouTubers, so you don't stick to one person. Keep on moving, keep on progressing in your education standards, keep on finding what's better for you. And this will also help push the YouTubers and the teachers to make better material, because the competition would be from feedback from the students. So this loop will enhance the education material. But what Byju's and WhiteHat Jr. are doing, that they keep all the students in a closed environment. If I want to find out who your subscribers are, who your followers are, I can find those people in your comment section or on your Twitter. But where are the Byju students? Where do we find them? Yeah. you can't find them that easily. They keep their students inside a tablet. Like we have phones, we have uh, laptops. Why are they still using the old technology? They give a pen drive, they give a memory card, and they keep their kids off the grid of the internet, so that the kids don't come across better material and they don't lose their customers. So this is like really bad. And they don't like, what's obvious to me is that they don't appreciate criticism, and they don't allow feedback. And without a feedback, things never go right. Like, I'll give you an example. Like in control engineering and uh, engineering, you study a chapter called like subject called control engineering, and if there is a positive feedback system, sooner or later, not sooner or later, very pretty fast, it will go out of control. So you always need to make a system, in check, in control. You need a negative feedback, so you know what's going wrong and you can improve on it. So,
Sure.
And these companies didn't do that, and now they're out of sync.
Definitely, it sounds like they're out of sync. I don't know much. I think WhiteHat Jr. is new on the scene, but Byju's has been around for a while. And my impression has always been that it's a very sort of wholesome, positive story. You know, Byju himself is going out and giving these lectures and teaching students, and he became so popular that people came from all over just to listen to him provide these lectures. Where do you think things went wrong? Where do you think that the path was sort of they deviated off the path that was the right path for them?
So most of it is like marketing gimmick, how they portray themselves, how they portray their own aura, that like this is what we have created. Like you can't find the person on social media anyway. Why is that? Because he knows that the people are gonna criticize him about the product and the sales pitch. What Baidu's has been doing the same thing WhiteHat Jr is doing right now. What they do is they target mothers in India, not the father. So the salesman will come to your home at any time, and they'll just start targeting mother, and they'll give an emotional pitch that you won't buy this thing, and just for some money you want your kid to lag behind. This is what you are going to do with your kid, seriously. So this is the kind of pitch they give to the parents. And like there is a lot of
it's emotional baggage or emotional
blackmail. Yeah, there is a lot of emotional blackmail in the pitch. Yeah, they create a sense of urgency that this is right now, you have to buy this thing. So like there are so many like loops in the system. Like I don't get it. Like this company, like these two companies are basically like sales companies. It's not. It's very much. The education part is very less. The technology part is very less. Most of it is sales, and people are openly calling them out. Like you are sales companies, not education companies.
Sure. And basically what you're saying is that the focus is way more on profit, and the focus is less on the product. Is that basically, yeah.
Yeah. Like my opinion is in EdTech, like in terms of profit making, it might not work. But how I see is that the teacher should be making the best salaries in any EdTech on any education institute or college or a school. But it's not that way. Like the teachers get the least salaries, the sales people and the marketing people are getting great incentives, and the teachers are at the bottom of the pyramid, which is, in my opinion, a stupid idea. If you are concerned about education, give the teachers the best salaries, you will get better teachers, and the education quality will keep on improving. So experts are and all their focus is right now on sales and marketing. They'll hire they will hire actors and cricketers to do their marketing, branding and all that. But these cricketers and these salesmen, these actors, they don't know about education. So in my opinion, that like, this is not right.
So I know you don't have necessarily like a business background per se. You're more into software development. But do you feel like this is actually a path to success for, it looks like it's been a path to success for Byju's, surely. But for WhiteHat Jr., do you think that this is a path which will actually lead them to becoming a successful international company or not?
Like until like I won't let them do that. I'll keep on like, posting my videos and all that. But Like if you just want to make money, maybe this is working out for them. But if you are,
that's what I meant when I said success, financial success.
Okay, like okay, yeah, this is working out for them. Like, and this is what makes me worry about the situation that other companies will follow suit. But if you are really concerned about education, you see all the best teachers out there in the world. They never went out for the money. They went out for the education, and this is what everybody should be doing. Like, do we want like get the part where Indian people and people around like they celebrate the fact that these companies have become unicorns and they are making this much of evaluation. What's the benefit for me in there? Okay, that these person are making so much of money, they have become billionaires. So what? Did they improve the education level of India? No, the education which was provided 10 years back, it's the same thing happening right now. So why should we celebrate that these people are making so much of money? They have become a unicorn, and there's some term for $10 billion also, something I don't know. But to me, it's not in our favor. Like right now, who's opposing WhiteHat Jr? Not me. There are so many people. All of these people are engineers. So if you add up all our cumulative experiences, it would be years of experience. So one side you have years of experience saying that this is not how you teach coding to kids, and on the other side there are a couple of VCs and a couple of CEOs who are saying that this is what we should be doing to teach the entire generation. So, like, whom do you want to listen to?
Yeah, I think the issue here, coming back to valuations, is that normally people pay for a product or service because they see value in it. They think it's going to benefit them. And it seems like that's the case also with WhiteHat Jr. and Byju's, right? Parents are thinking this is going to help my kid. But of course, that's debatable, right? Is it actually helping? Or could we get the same thing from just YouTube videos? Or could we get the same thing from traditional education? But of course, investors aren't thinking about whether this is actually helping people or not, right? Investors are thinking about how can we get this startup to an exit, right? So that we can sort of cash in. We've invested, we've given the world what our valuation is. We think this is what the startup is worth. They're not thinking about whether the edtech startup is helping people or not is really not their concern. What is their concern is this going to make me money in the long run? I'm investing for a reason, right? I want to see a return on my investment. So that's why we have unicorns. But of course, normally, if you're valued, if you have a high valuation, it means that you're providing a highly valuable service or a highly valuable product. But what I'm hearing from people like you and a lot of other people on the internet is that that's not the case with specifically this company, which is WhiteHat Jr.
Yeah. So, like for example, like they don't have one single student who have completed the entire course by now. Okay. The president himself said that it takes 3.5 years to complete the whole course. And what I have heard and what I have seen is that they don't even have the complete course by now, their own curriculum. It's not completed yet. So they don't have any proof of concept that this is going to work on kids. So how can you, let them, make guinea pigs out of the entire generation? That's dangerous. And like, I don't think like this is the only way to make money in business in education sector. If you have value in your product, people will buy it without advertisements also. And there might be some other companies as well who are doing it. And in a longer term, if you are providing value to your customers, that is gonna stick to your brand worthy. People will trust you, and the outcomes, the students will trust you, and the generations will trust you that okay, they helped me and they will help my children also. But these companies are in here for short run, and now that the things are coming out and people have expressed their opinion about Byju's and WhiteHat Jr, that the value is almost next to zero. So like this was bound to happen, like sooner or later above every bubbles pop.
When you say that they're here for the short term, what exactly do you mean? Because I think that it would make a lot of sense for them to be, if they want to make money, right, then it's good to make money in the long term, right, as opposed to the short term. So what do you mean by short term?
Like, why was WhiteHat Jr so aggressive about the marketing in this pandemic? Yeah, so they aim, like what I feel is that the aim was to grab as many customers as possible before the schools open. Because once the schools are going to open after this pandemic in a couple of months, I hope the kids are desperately waiting to go back to school. They are fed up of all these holidays. So once the kids are back to school, they are not going to buy anything. They're like, I just want to go to school. So this is what's making them panic, like make as much money as possible before the pandemic gets over. So, like, I'll just give an example. I saw in one of the fake reviews, and I still have that 29-second video. You go to the WhiteHat Jr app, you go to the 5-star reviews, you scroll down, and I think the third or the fourth review was same, and it said something like, "Pandemic is not the worst thing that happened in 2020. At least we have got WhiteHat Jr. Hats off to Karan Bajaj." Exactly same thing was written by two different people, actually four different people. So like this is their target, that get as many people to enroll before the pandemic is over, and this is what makes them a short run business.
And would you say also that that's perhaps what has shaped their strategy when it comes to censorship?
I don't get it. Like, yeah, in a way, like honestly, in a way, it was working out for them. The Wolf Gupta ads are there for like 1.5 years. So in a way, it was working for them. That suppressing dissent was working for them. Like I had to make so many accounts, so many videos, video after video, video after, and it took me 3 months to get their attention. And at many points, if I would have given up, they might have been doing the same thing. Like now they are claiming that they have taken down the ads, but they didn't take down the ads because they felt it wrong. It because people spoke against it. So yeah, so like my point is like, how would a father, like I'm not a father, I'm not married, like, but how would a father who has like two kids, 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids, how would he spend or like 3 months into this thing, day in and day out, making videos and post on so many accounts, account after account? Who would spend it so much of time to raise this awareness? And if like what happens, like if you get duped and somebody money is lost, 30,000, 40,000 rupees, they sooner or later they'll like, okay, I give up, let it go. Like people won't, like time is money, and people won't spend a lot of time into this thing. So this is how the business has been running for so long. Like people end up doing this thing, and yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to circle back here to the beginning. I wanted to know, because I guess if you're sitting in the courthouse here and you're arguing back and forth with WhiteHat Jr., their claim would probably be that the reason that you're doing this is for attention, right? It's to get social media followers. That's probably the only sort of reason that they could possibly think of. So what would your response be to that argument?
Yeah, Karan Bajaj even in LinkedIn account said that I'm doing the trolls. Like I most probably he meant for me only. He didn't name me, and that post he said like trolls also work very hard. They do it for uh, fame, followers, and possibly wealth. So yeah, I'm doing it for wealth. But the guy who's lying to kids is the saint. He's the one who's making $300 million, and he's the saint. He's the yogi, and I'm the one who's doing this for wealth. Yeah, possibly.
How many millions of dollars have you made again from this?
Like 150 crore rupees.
Right. You're the one being sued, actually. Sorry, there's a
yeah. Now I'll have to pay 20 crore rupees to speak out against them. And what were my questions? I just said like, who is Wolf Gupta? Now they're saying like I was aggressive about it. No, I was never aggressive about it. I might have been aggressive about it a couple of times, but I was consistent about it. They were the ones who were aggressively putting down my video. I just kept on doing the same thing. Like my first video was who is Wolf Gupta, and it's such a shitty video because the quality of my sound on the production value is really bad. At half of the time, you won't even hear what I'm saying. I never reshoot the video. I never made that video again. I just kept on re-uploading the same video. So like I was not like looking. You got the point. Like I didn't do it aggressively or anything, but I just kept on doing consistently.
Sure. I think the more than that, the aggressive, what they're describing as aggressive is the videos that you made about their internal communications on Slack, which I feel is probably that's definitely where they're coming from with that. But again, I feel that this isn't something that a normal, you're not just sort of like a regular everyday person who sees a problem and then sort of takes a step back and says, oh, I'm just going to ignore this, right? You're very motivated. You're very driven. You really want to expose the truth, which is why you went to such great lengths. And I would say putting yourself at risk by doing that, right? Exposing, I mean, you must have thought of as well, right? As someone who's in software, showing internal communications on Slack, obviously, like the whole time you were doing it, you were probably thinking, this is not going to go well for me, right? This is obviously a very risky thing for me to do. And you're putting your name behind it as well, right? It's not like you're creating some anonymous account. This is like a YouTube account and you're distorting your voice, right? You're coming right out and just putting your identity sort of on the table and putting your basically your life on the line, not your physical life, but your sort of, existence here, your reputation, perhaps your just the way that people look at you on social media, right? You're putting that all out on the line. So I just want to say, thank you for having that bravery, and thank you for saying something when probably most people wouldn't have. I think that's something that's commendable, and it's sort of being overshadowed right now by the fact that this court case is happening and people are just looking at the numbers, they're looking at the controversy, they're not actually thinking about the fact that you have probably suffered quite a bit because of this entire ordeal, and you're doing it to benefit people, right? You're doing it to expose the truth.
Yeah, like I'll tell you a story about this, like what all happened. Like I initially started doing this anonymously. Okay, so initially I made a Twitter handle WhiteHat Jr. Okay, and even just with a couple of tweets and nothing, and like in just a couple of days it was banned. Okay, and the name over that Twitter handle was Deep Singh. My name is Pradeep, and the middle you can say Singh and Punya, and I just used Deep Singh. I wasn't using my name, and after that handle was gone, I just thought, like, whom do I say that my handle is gone? Like people say you are Pradeep Poonia and the handle was Deep Singh. So at that point I decided, like, unless I use my own name anonymously, I can't achieve anything. They're going to say, like, this is some guy from competitor side, or who is he? So anonymously, it felt like it can't be done. I had to use my face, use my name, and uh, like how, like, there's one thing I can't talk more about the the Slack thing for obvious reasons for the court case, but there's something really concerning what happened, like, and why I took that drastic step. So I knew all those information from quite some time. I can't say exactly how many, but a couple of weeks at least. So I knew all those information, and what do you do with that information? So I approached some journalists, okay, and I gave them that information. And I didn't approach like any random journalist. I approached the good ones, whom I trusted. And what they did was they said, okay, okay, okay. They acted like it's nothing. They seriously acted like it's nothing. And here I was sitting with that information, and I was getting anxious that what if they come to know that I have this information? Okay, so it became dangerous for me day by day, that, like, what if they somehow get to know that I have all of this thing? So like I kept on pushing on some journalists that please write about this thing. I'll provide you like enough information to take down this company, not just once but twice in a row. But they acted like it's really nothing. Like, we need more information, and we are looking into it. And this made me suspicious that what is going on. They are intentionally ignoring it. And then what happened was, I was on the borderlines, like, should I release the information or not? On a Friday, it's a Choti Diwali, and the day before Diwali, on the Thursday night, I don't remember the date, but you can look up for when was Diwali this year in this November. So Diwali was on Saturday. So on Thursday night, I got a DM on my Telegram handle, and the person said something like, "We don't care about you, dude. Germs like you comes and go, and the money keeps flowing. Germs like you comes and go." And at that point, I got scared, like who is this guy? I was getting threats like quite a lot, but this was the language that they were using. And because I knew how these people talk in their chats, it made me suspicious it is one of them. And he said, like, we know where you are, we know your location, we can come at you tomorrow if we want to. And that made me more scared. Like, I even asked him, like, just tell me my location, and like, I'll give up. Like, I just wanted to check that if he really knows my location, that if he knows, maybe I should run from here or not. From last 1 month, I was in a hideout. I was living in somebody else's storeroom. Literally, I was living in a storeroom. So that Thursday night, I thought, like, what do I fucking do? I have already told the journalists, and they are not printing about it. And this message, right on the day when I was on the borderline of putting it out there for myself, I thought, what the fuck do I do? Point, I thought, like, this is like a hot information in my hand. This is making my life at risk. So I should put it out there myself. So that's why on Friday I had to take the step to put everything out there. I didn't want to be like, I knew the risk involved behind this thing. So on Friday posted the videos and I posted on Twitter. And at that point, I thought, like, as a whistleblower, I have done my part. Now the media would pick it up, but they didn't. So from Friday till uh, Sunday, when the court order they filed a case on me, they were like 10 days. How many media people posted about all those facts which were right there on my Twitter? Nobody. So as a whistleblower, I had done my part. Now every publication is writing about the case. But where were they when every information was out there on my Twitter handle? But the court hadn't said that I can't leak them, and the court case was not in the court. The media could have very well picked up all those tweets, all those snapshots, and content from my videos and made an article about it. But nobody did.
Why not?
I don't know. They were just waiting for me, like something bad to happen. Like they were on a hold. Byju's must have called them, like, don't write about it, and we are going to sort it out. For 10 days, nobody wrote about this. So this is the issue why in India scams don't get exposed. When whistleblowers tells to the journalist that, hey dude, I have this information, write about this thing, they don't. And when they post the information, take the entire risk on the lives, then also they don't post about it. Like, what options did I have? I had to do it what I did. I had to get into the gray zone. I had to post about the stuff. I had, like, the only option was backing out. Even then, there was a risk for me. I was stuck in a position. I was like, stuck in it, and I couldn't do anything apart from posting it by myself.
Do you think that the journalists and sort of the media companies are scared to talk about things like this?
They're sold out. They're sold out. Byju is paying their money. And I openly say that. I'm not scared of saying that. Because one journalist himself told me that Byju approached them also. And I'm just waiting for them also to make a video about it. So there are many proofs. Inside their communication also, I saw something. I can't say about it right now because of the court orders, but I saw what happens there, how they deal with the media.
Yeah. So you're not allowed to talk about anything that you saw within Slack, even though those videos are technically, I think, available on the internet. People have saved them and probably reposted them elsewhere, but you're not allowed to talk about
orders. The court said that I need to take down 4 videos and 12 tweets. I did that, and I can't say about it.
Okay. So before we wrap up this interview, I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts, or like, what are you expecting to happen with this lawsuit? What is the end result? Not that you're hoping for, but that you actually expect.
Okay, so I'm not just against one company or one person, Karan, but I have nothing personal against this guy. So, my point over here is that we should come to a point, we should come to an agreement as a society that let's not allow anybody to lie to kids. This is point number one. Like, maybe like 15 or 16, let's decide upon an age. And if you are targeting those kids, you cannot lie. You cannot lie at all. And what WhiteHat Jr is saying, your kid is in top 1%. They would say anything to parents, like everybody's kids in top 1%, not possible. Like somebody's got to win top 2% as well. Yeah. So don't lie to kids for one. And I hope that we create an example out of this scam company that people, the other it takes also remember that if you cross the line, and people are going to speak up.
Yeah.
And
but then what?
Regarding the
Yeah.
Yeah, and regarding the case, I'm like very hopeful that the court system will see what's the truth, and what I have said, I do have proofs against it. So yeah.
Are you confident in the evidence that you have?
Yeah, totally 100%. Like we are gonna win the case. That's sure.
That's awesome to hear. Well, I wish you the best of luck with the case. I really hope that it goes well, and I'm going to be paying close attention to see what the outcome is. But thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience, this entire ordeal, everything that you've been through, and the reason why you're doing it. And thank you for coming on the show, on to Backstage with Millionaires.
Yeah, thank you for covering this issue and inviting me.
For sure. All right, take care.